Ninjago over the course of its run has had plenty of unique villains over the years, and each of them vary in design and screen presence. So today I'm going to rank all of them based on design, personality, and threat level. This list is just my opinion, and I'd love to hear y'all's opinion in the comments below. So without further ado, let's get the video started. In dead last, we have the reawakened warriors from Season 13 or Master of the Mountain. These guys are just the most nothing villain army. While I do like Master of the Mountain, they are just so uninteresting. They're just the Vermilion and Skeletons put together. They're literally just an amalgamation of the two. And all the fights they have with the ninja are just so uninteresting because the ninja have already faced a villain like this before. And they're just such a non-threat to the ninja. Like, in their first encounter, the ninja are already countering them. Without elemental powers, since there's Vengestone in the caves, they just use weapons, and in fact, Cole literally uses his fists. Them appearing and then reappearing after getting defeated just got really repetitive, which is just extra annoying because we already had Season 7 do the same thing with the Vermilion, and honestly, that was done a little better there because at least it was like somewhat original. But here, it's just feels like they're running out of ideas for villain armies. I do like their designs, but I like pretty much every villain's design on this list, except for maybe a few, but we'll get to those. There are just so many better options for villain armies out there, and that's why these guys are dead last. Next up are the Red Visors from Season 12, Prime Empire. I'm not really the biggest gamer, so I didn't really get the 404 reference until I had to literally look it up. They have some mildly amusing moments in the Prime Empire shorts, but to be honest, I kind of forgot these guys existed until I made this video. And besides that, they're literally just Unagami cannon fodder. Like, these guys get literally nothing accomplished. Like, at some point, Unagami should have just gone after the ninja himself. Now we have the Pyro Vipers. Not only are these guys just another snake army, which there was so many of by this point, they don't have any unique attributes besides being made of fire. Char carries this army. I enjoy his banter with Asphira. And Pyro Whipper is really cool too. Next we have the Mechanics Thugs from Prime Empire. These guys are actually kinda underrated. Obviously they pose literally zero threat to the ninja, but they do have some entertaining scenes with the mechanic in the upgrade short. And I enjoy how they try to flee when the mechanic tells them to fight the ninja in episode 1 of Prime Empire. That gave me a chuckle. Other than that, there's just not much, because they're just average thugs. Side note, after Prime Empire, they become Misdemeanors thugs. I did not include this in the script, so I thought I'd just include it here real quick. Anyways, next ranking. Now we have another snake army, the Marae Guards, or as I call them, the Hydro Whippers. These guys had so much missed potential. When I heard of underwater villains, I thought they would be a bunch of squids like Kalmar. But no, we just get even more snakes. The only reason they are up this high is because of their weapons. I like how they turn red when Kalmar starts ruling them, and they're the only villains to use tridents, which is perfect for the underwater theme. Not to mention they are also ranged weapons, adding some other variety. Next we have the most recent villain army, the Elemental Monsters. These monsters sound really cool in concept, and I love the design variety amongst them. But in the show, the ninja fight these guys so many times and they have absolutely zero personality. So I just don't care for them. Except Mutation Monster. That guy is really cool. I especially love the scene with it and Umber Sylvis on the airship. The other elemental monsters are just nothing. They have no standout scenes and are just mindless foot soldiers. That's why they're so low down. I wish I could rank them higher, but unfortunately the show just disappointed with them. The Ice or Blizzard Samurai are next. I love the design aesthetic and visual identity of these guys, and them being samurai is really cool. But they are zero threat for the ninja on their first encounter. The ninja are beating them with ease, except for Kai. They give Lloyd a little bit of struggle, but he still 1v3s them and wins. These guys had the potential to be so cool, pun not intended, but they just fall apart. Now we have Yang students, and I don't have much to say about them. I think they have cool designs, and I like how Cole named one of them Chuck. That's about it. Now we are on to the meh villains, starting with the Ninjroids. These guys have the most boring color scheme ever, and the minifigures lack leg printing. But they do make up for it in abilities, such as laser eyes, jetpacks, and the abundance of cool vehicles they have, bringing the army up to this spot. Next up, we have the Wolf Mask Warriors. These guys have such a cool concept behind them. Shattering your goodness to gain strength through a wolf mask is so cool. But one problem, they don't have a backstory for existing. For all we know, these guys just run around, and we don't have a full explanation of what species they even are. Sadly, these guys were just completely wasted. Next are the Keepers. I love the island they are housed on, and I like their weapons. That's about it. None of them have any distinguishable personalities from one another, so I can't report on much here. Next we have the Oni. These guys were built up to so much and hunted, and they didn't do crap in the actual season they were featured in. They didn't even use their shape-shifting abilities once. Asphira broke the monastery gates down faster than you chums. Thankfully, they look to be returning in Ninjago Legends Duskfall, which I hope they get the attention they deserve in that little spin-off show. Now we have the Dragonians, both spectral and trackers. These guys suffer from a lack of backstory and explanation given for why they exist. Their implementation into the show is so random and unexplained. Also, don't the Forbidden Five of the Wolf Mask Warriors? Couldn't they do the work that all these guys do? I do love the scenes of them getting bullied by the Five and them stealing people's souls. They are just so cool when they do that. Also, they do more work than the actual Forbidden Five, which is crazy considering they are just foot soldiers and the Forbidden Five are meant to be our main antagonists. At least what Season 2 led us to believe. Now we have the Vermilion. And these guys have such a cool idea behind them. Snake hive mind and samurai armor. So cool, and these guys seem like such a big threat at first. But Blunk and Ragmuck are so annoying, and the ninja find a way to defeat them in their first encounter, and so every fight afterwards with them is painfully boring. Kinda like Hands of Time itself. They still have so many cool attributes to put them up this high though. Next we have the inmates from Prime Empire and the Island. I like the variety of characters we have here. We have the Mechanic, Ultraviolet, and Captain Soto of all people. This feels like an inspired idea, and I wish they were used more, as there is some good story potential to be had here. Loyalists are next in the catalog, and these guys actually have a really cool premise behind them. They infiltrate other organizations so they can get the resources for the Empress's return. However, they turn on the Empress for some reason in episode 10, which really makes me annoyed, because they already committed to the Empress being crazy when she turned on all of her citizens at the end of season 1. So why are you backing out now when she is doing the same exact thing? Now we have the first villain army I'd call solid, and that's the Ghosts from Possession. These guys were such cool minifigures with the transparent green legs and heads as well as ghostly themed weapons. Though admittedly they are a little too easy to defeat, which diminishes the threat level, and their banter with Moro isn't that great either. The Anachondri from the Serpentine War are really cool. I love the idea of them being the leaders of the Serpentine during the war, and how Arcturus was foreshadowed in Season 3. I haven't read Strike of the Serpentine yet, but I've seen a few panels, and the Anachondri look cool as hell. Following them, we have the Anachondri Cultists. I put these guys above the real Anachondri because of Kapow and Chop, who have some really funny banter and scenes together. Also, the villain Armies defeat is really creative and cool. Next we have the Stone Army. I don't have much to say, but these guys are really intimidating and pose a serious threat for the ninja, even after the ninja obtain their elemental blades from the Temple of Light. Starting the great villains off with the Vengestone Warriors from Crystallized. I love the pink crystals as well as how they crystallize others. Ninjago City looks so cool with the crystal infestation, and I love every fight scene with them. Crystallized sucks, but these guys do rock. Finishing off the greats are Imperium Guards and Claws. I love the new weapons they have, and they switch between a sword, a taser, gun, or a rope, which leads to some really creative uses in fights. They also have some good comedy and some not so funny comedy. Starting the amazing villain tier, we have the Skulkin. I love how each foot soldier was given a name and distinctive color, headpiece, or facial expression to distinguish each of them. as well as the goats Cruncha and Knuckle, the king of comedic villainous duos. The Serpentine I love for a lot of the same reasons as the Skeletons, but these guys take it even further, with 4 different variants for each tribe and minifigures so detailed yet they still share so many commonalities, like all the generals having snake tails and staffs. These guys are also generational and a huge part of Ninjago history and lore, paving the way for tons more snake villains, as we saw in this video. Entering the top 3, we have the Sons of Garmadon. I love the biker aesthetic they have, as well as dynamics amongst the generals. Mr. E is Aura, and Ultraviolet and Kilo have some fun scenes fighting and interacting with the ninja. They are also the only villain army to win at the end of their respective season, and they carry over into Hunted, making Ninjago City feel so dangerous and apocalyptic. Much better than the Vengestone Warriors ever did in Crystallized. Overall, I just adore these guys a lot. In the runner-up spot, we have the Sky Pirates. The character work done on these guys is incredible, with them all being victims to Nautocon's wishes and manipulation, making their turn on him really compelling. I also get a really good understanding on how they live their lives on Misfortune's Keep, while Jay is taken hostage on board. The confrontation scene with Nautocon is really good too. They all have such cool and unique designs as well, and capture a really cool steampunk aesthetic. Overall, these guys are awesome, and I'm really impressed, especially since they came from Skybound. And at the number 1 spot, we have the Dragon Hunters from Hunted. These guys have everything. Designs? Check. Characterization? Check. Defeated in a satisfying way? Check. A part of a cool new location? Check. They are the gold standard for a villain army. They take some cues from the Sky Pirates, with each of them being victims to Iron Baron's manipulation. But I'd argue it's even better here, because it's in a better written season, first of all. And 2, we get this established earlier on, leading the rest of the episodes to build up to Iron Baron's defeat. Also, Faith is just awesome. Really well written side character. And that is every villain army ranked. I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye!